One. Welcome into the Keon Sports Podcast. With me today, it is the Cleveland Crunch in full force here. As you can tell, kind of combined two, former Cleveland legendary soccer teams there. But we're happy to have you guys. Macain Spragling, correct? Am I pronouncing that all right?
Yes.
Excellent. And Ryan Ruiz, who is new to the team this year. Fellas, how have you been doing? How's everything going so far this season for you?
I'll let you start off, Ryan.
Doing good, Vince. Thanks for having us on. Very, very excited about the upcoming season. We have a lot of fun things in store that we can talk about, but we're doing good. We're a big fan of Keon Sports, doing an excellent job with high school football.
Yeah, I appreciate that very much. This is definitely our busiest time of year with that coming up state championships this weekend. So we appreciate you making time. Macain, I wanted to start with you. What does it mean for you, a young guy here? The culture of winning soccer in Cleveland is so rich. Me as a little kid, I'm going to kind of show my age here. I think Ryan knows I'm 40 years old, so I'm not exactly a spring chicken, but I grew up with winning soccer in Cleveland, and it was a big deal. I mean, there was trading cards. They were on TV on a regular basis. It was amazing. What does it mean to you to be a part of that?
Honestly, it means everything to me. Being from Northeast Ohio, and when I was younger, my mom would take me to the games. I played soccer for international, so we played at the Crunch and Force halftime game. So those were just big moments for me, and just the full turnaround and just be part of the Crunch now, it means everything to me. It being my 5th year playing arena soccer, just keeping that rich winning culture is just a big thing for me, and I think I could speak for a lot of the other guys as well.
We right now the world is World Cup soccer, outdoor soccer crazy, and again, though, that was not really a big deal ever growing up. This is fairly new for me as a fan of that, maybe for like the last 10 years. But growing up with a more indoor, fast-paced soccer, as the indoor soccer style is, what do you find to be the most exciting about that, and also the most challenging with the nonstop back and forth action?
What I can say is, because I played a great amount of both outdoor and indoor, and just the game pace is just it's unbelievable to me. It's 5v5. You got 5 guys going head to head against each other, and it's just fast paced, lots of action, lots of goals, and it's just nonstop. As far as difference from outdoor, when you got 11 other guys on the field, you got time, you got just so much things going on. It makes it more of a fun environment for fans to see. A lot more action. People want to see goals. People want to see flipping off the walls and just things like that makes the game exciting. So, that's kind of what keeps me indoor and not outdoor. So
nothing wrong with that. I enjoy the indoor game very, very much. So Ryan Ruiz, my man, long story short, me and him wrote a book at the same time pretty much years ago, a decade ago. And that's how we met. We were new authors at the time. I think we both probably thought we were going to become famous from writing a book. Cruel reality hit us both pretty quick. But Ryan, what's going on, my friend? Because, like I said, I've known you since the very beginning of all this. You've known me since the very beginning of wanting to be a writer and a broadcaster. So this is a pretty big jump for you. Congratulations. And how did it come about?
No, I appreciate it. I built a pretty good. Well, just like you, I was a huge Crunch fan too. I went to the Richfield Coliseum and the CSU Convocation Center and watched the Crunch and the Force, and then the new Force. So the Crunch is definitely something that has been a big thing of my life. My daughter has taken a serious liking to soccer, and Macain knows Riley, and her and I had a bond. I remember going to the games with my father, and I'm taking Riley to these Crunch games, and everything is so intimate. The setting, where we've been playing, and it's like you said, that passion is right there for soccer, and it's also nice that we win. the Crunch win. I mean, we've won 22 games and only lost 4 in 2 seasons. So, and that's, including playoffs. So, but by taking my daughter to soccer to the Crunch, I got to know Luciano and Rashido and Lou Rashido and Vicky Rashido, and we're a pretty good match. And I bring different set of skill sets to the table with my experience in sales and marketing, and so far we're making moves. We've made a couple of very nice moves here the last couple months.
Well, we're going to talk about a few of those moves here in a second. One of them, which is the league that you guys are playing in. Now, I want you to educate me a little bit on this, because I knew for a while when you first got started, you were in one league. Now, have you switched? Where exactly will you be playing at? Like, what league, and then what challenges will that bring? Ryan, can you kind of fill me in a little bit on that? Because from what I've read, I believe you might have switched leagues you were going to. What actually happened?
Yep. So last season, the last 2 seasons, we played in the MASL2, which is right below MASL. We made the switch this year to go to the Major League Indoor Soccer League, which is MLIS. And what we found was there's a lot of politics involved in M2. There's a lot of just in anything. There's a lot of expenses in M2, and we thought for the better, this MLIS league formed by former commissioners and former really good soccer brains, and definitely a different model is going to be ran than M2. So it was an opportunity to leave. And the reality is, Vince, once the Cleveland Crunch decided to join the MLIS, other teams followed. So the Chicago Mustangs followed from M2. M2 has lost at least 4 or 5 teams to MLIS. So the team that played in the Western semifinals last year, the Omaha Kings, and almost beat the San Diego Sockers, they came over. So with the Crunch and the Omaha Kings coming, and then there's some other teams that are new to the league, or that are new to indoor soccer, and they're in too. So, there's a whole variety, a nice mixture of teams. But the division that we're in, you've got the 4 teams: the Cincinnati, Chicago, and Rapid City. So,
I mean, that's a pretty healthy slate there. I mean, and you had mentioned your daughter, Riley. I wish my daughters were bigger soccer fans than they are. I mean, they'll watch it with me a little bit. They know I'm a huge fan. They're into wrestling, and I don't know if you guys could probably hear, hopefully you can't, but they are literally 10 feet away having a Royal Rumble as we speak. So hopefully I don't have to leave the camera at any second and, count the 3 for the pin. But, Macain, I wanted to ask you this as well, because I'm a food junkie. I'm Italian. So my whole life I've grown up, eating major meals. Ryan mentioned a couple cities that are not exactly around the corner, right? So you're looking at some 4-hour drives, 5-hour, 6-hour drives here and there. What is the go-to food on the road? What is that snack? Because you're a healthy guy. I've seen you play. I know you're a beast of a human being, but we all like to snack. So what is a couple of your go-tos on the road?
I would say chicken Caesar salad. That's pretty much, for me, it's just you can't ever go wrong with it. And not even just preparing for soccer, but just for like a dinner, it could be amazing. You could eat it for lunch, and I'm just a huge big chicken Caesar salad guy. So that's definitely my number one.
That's awesome, man. I'm speaking about Raising Cane's or Burger King, and this guy's eating chicken Caesar salad. The reason why he looks the way he does, and the reason why I look the way I do, though, it's all good. So, guys, keeping a little bit lighthearted here, have to tell you a funny story as we kind of wind things down here with a few more questions. Mm-hmm. Your head coach, Benny Dargle. All right. So growing up as a Cleveland soccer fan, there was Benny Dargle and Kai Hoskafee. Obviously, along came Hector Marinero and Zoran and Otto and the whole bunch, right? Timmy Tanner, Tommy Tanner. But Benny Dargle okay, was my brother Don, who's a few years older than me, his favorite player, and I mean favorite player. He would pretend to be Benny Dargo out in the backyard. We would play indoor soccer in the basement constantly. I can't tell you how many things we broke in that basement playing indoor soccer. And he would always pretend to be Benny Dargo. Now, McCain, you're a young guy, so you might not remember this next reference, but I know Ryan will. They used to have these things called phone books, right? It wasn't like now where you can just pick up your phone and call whoever you want and find them like that. My brother got a phone. My brother Don was so obsessed with Benny Dargle. He got the phone book, looked them up. Sure enough, Benny Dargle was listed, and he would call your coach. And a lot of times he would call him like after a game when Benny Dargle wasn't even home yet, but he would just call, and Mrs. Dargle would pick up the phone, and she was always very, very polite and take the message. But my brother probably left your head coach at least 25 messages in the 4 years he played in Cleveland. It was hysterical. So when I heard Benny Dargle was going to be the coach, I'm like, this is just too perfect. I'm like, I have to tell Don about this. What's it been like playing for a legend like that?
For me, it's everything, once again, I do want to, give a lot of thanks to, Tattoo. He was my coach in Dallas, and I've learned so much about the game. Like he's definitely just put my whole mindset totally different. And having someone like Benny Dargo who, played in Cleveland, played with the Crunch, who has that same passion for the game. He sleeps, he bleeds soccer, so it's just an amazing feeling to have someone like that in our corner, especially with moving to a new league with new goals and things like that. It's everything for us to have someone like Benny there. And so far, it's been amazing. He's been there for us, not only on the field but off the field as well. And you can't ask for more anything else from a coach. And it's just everything to have him on our side this year. I'm excited.
And you should be. I mean, that's just really cool. Everybody wants to play for a legend. Everybody wants to play with somebody or for someone who's down to earth as well, doesn't act like a legend. I have to shout out Hector Marinero for that one. When I first started writing books, wrote a book called Cleveland's Finest. And in Cleveland's Finest, there's a huge, huge chapter about the force and the crunch and getting to meet a lot of those guys, a lot of those guys who were heroes of mine growing up and getting to see them as normal human beings. When you go behind the camera and you go behind all the flash and everything, I think, a lot of people are under the same pressures as a lot of us are with 9 to 5 jobs, so it's just one of those things that they have that creative outlet, they have that talent, and for them to pass that on, I think it's tremendous, quite frankly. Ryan, you had mentioned the Cleveland Convocation Center and definitely the Richfield Coliseum, and it's wild to think, me and you as young men, little boys, actually going to that Richfield Coliseum and how big that looked. It looked like a damn castle. I'll say it was like you're going to this giant castle, right? So we're used to those bigger crowds. And, kind of want to wrap things up here with this question here to Ryan before we get to the final question. Ryan, like now you're going to be in the IX Center. And the IX Center is another place to me that is just mammoth, right? When you drive past it on the freeway, whether you're going past Grant Road or the airport or wherever you need to go, right over there on, I think it's 237, that place looks massive. How did that happen? And if you had anything to do with that move, all I can say is thank you, because that is gigantic. I live in North Olmsted, no knock on the soccerplex, but that is just, here's the soccerplex, here's the IX Center. So great job.
Yeah. To answer the last part of the question, I did not have anything to do with the IX Center. That was all Luciano.
I was going to give you full credit.
And Lou. But I will tell you, we actually just had a Zoom meeting with the IX Center today. They are amped. This is going to be, our goal was to increase our attendance by 400%. We're going to do it at the IX Center. There's no reason why we cannot fill 4 of those home games at the IX Center with 2,000 plus fans, especially from what we saw last year at the Sportsplex, because there was standing room only at fan appreciation night. So we know we can get them. But the IX Center is going to be an awesome venue. We're actually painting the field on the 5th and 6th. So 1 week from today, we'll be on the field painting it, putting a nice crunch crust in the middle. So the IX Center is definitely something to look forward to for all the crunch fans.
Promotions. Promotions is the biggest thing you could do. Ryan, I know this as an author. I know this as a podcaster. I know this is as the owner of Cleveland, Keon Sports, right?
Yeah.
Promotions are gigantic. You can have the world's greatest product. If no one knows about it, they're not going to buy it. And I say that. I believe one of my books, it's called Fight Maria Fight. Best book I've ever written, but nobody bought it because it has nothing to do with sports, right? Couldn't get it promoted. I couldn't get on the radio. I didn't have the legs behind it, and it's a great book. That's just an example, right? I feel like one of the worst books I ever wrote sold more copies than all the other books because that was one the radio stations got behind and the newspapers got behind. It's all about promotions. What can fans expect? What are they going to be talking about? Because I got to tell you, my man, you got a huge job on your shoulders. So what's coming up?
Well, like a good author, I don't know if I should give away all the fun stuff, but I will tell you there is a theme this year. It's kind of an unwritten theme, and it is blending the past with the present. So we're bringing back possibly a logo that might be familiar to people. We are going to be doing a really cool giveaway for Fan Appreciation Night. I will give you a small hint. We've actually talked about this during this podcast. So there's your hint to that. And then, when I was a kid and my father had season tickets to the Force, Darth Vader would run out of the tunnel and the lights would be off and he'd have a lightsaber.
Yeah.
And you know what? As a kid, Star Wars was the best to me. But then to see the players come out and they're introduced and a goal is scored and a soccer ball is being tossed to the crowd, it was like one of the biggest things I wanted to do at that game was like catching a foul ball, and I can tell you from a promotional standpoint, we have some tricks up our sleeve with that, with fan interaction. But you'll have to come to the IX Center to find out because it's we plan on putting on a show, and I actually just came up with a couple of days ago. I was like, the Cleveland Crunch are the greatest show on turf. So
I saw that.
I thought that was kind of catchy. The greatest show on turf. So
yeah, I thought you had received a call there from Mike Martz and Dick Vermeil of the '99 St. Louis Rams. That's we won't talk about copyright infringement on this show. Not at all. No. Just joking though, man. I think it's great. I really do. I'm to me, this was such a fun thing as a kid and now as an adult to see it grow and come back. I think it's wonderful. I really do. I pray like you wouldn't believe that this thing catches wildfire because I remember how great it was. Cleveland soccer is so good. I've been the play-by-play guy for the NPSL league team, Cleveland SC for I think 6 years now. So I've seen it. And again, it's that winning culture. And I would love nothing more than for you guys to absolutely explode. You have my full support. Last question of the night. We'll start with you, Mr. Spragling there. Who is your pick to win the World Cup?
Wow.
Brazil. Give you an easy one.
And I don't say that because, they have a bunch of, stars in every position. I say it because, I grew up watching strictly Brazilians highlights, and every World Cup, even when they weren't what they should have been, I've always been a Brazil fan. Anybody that knows me, I don't miss any Brazil games, whether it's an international friendly, a World Cup game, female Brazil. I'm just a Brazilian guy. So that's who I'm going to go with to win the World Cup.
Also, can I just say, incredible talent base for MMA fighters. I don't know if you follow MMA, mixed martial arts, some of the greatest of all time from Brazil. It's amazing to me. I've always said, you want good beer, good hockey and good professional wrestling, you go to Canada. You want good soccer, good MMA, you go to Brazil. No doubt about it. Ryan, my man, where are we going to bet the mortgage at this month? Who's winning the World Cup?
I want the U.S. to win.
Oh,
No,
they don't
honestly,
have a chance in hell. That's okay.
I know.
Maybe they
No,
will.
honestly,
Maybe they will.
honestly, I'm you know, I'm old, and Brazil was another team. Like even when I watched it, what was it? 18? No, 14, 2014. I think I watched them both, but Brazil was tough then. That's when Neymar got hurt really bad. But in Brazil, it's the pedigree, the amount of experience on that team. They looked good the other day when I watched them. So it's got to be Brazil.
So I am going to tell you one last story to wrap this show up. Again, growing up with indoor soccer is all I knew. So we're coming into the summer of 1994. Summer 1994, I would have been 12, I believe. And it was my first taste of outdoor soccer. I had no idea what it was, right? But it was World Cup crazy. Everybody was talking about the World Cup. And the United States was good that year. That's the year with Alexi Lawless and Colby Jones. Very solid team, right? So they actually defeated, I forget who it was, to get into the tournament. One, got to the field of 8 before they lost, ended up losing to Brazil. Followed the rest of that World Cup, got down to the finals, scoreless. Italy, where I'm, I root for Italy every time because that's my ancestry. We're Italian. My name's Vincenzo, in case you couldn't tell. But so that's where I pull, right? So we get to the finals, and I say we like I had anything to do with it at all. But we get to the finals against Brazil, and it goes to penalty kicks, and Brazil won. But I just remember that being so thrilling in 1994. And again, my first exposure to the outdoor game. So, guys, it was great to have you. Macain, thank you for taking time away from a practice. If they make you run any laps because you were late to practice, please place the full blame on Keon Sports. And Ryan, my friend, man, we're going to have to catch up some more. This was great talking with you. Next time we interview, we need to get you in a room with more light. I feel like I'm talking to Darth Vader. You were talking about Star Wars.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm in the basement in the movie theater. The kids are getting ready to go to bed. So, real quick, Vince, tickets. Can I just get a quick ticket plug? Ticketswift.com. The Ticketswift app available in the Google or Apple store. Ticketswift is how you will get tickets. If you go to www.theclevelandcrunch.com, there's also a ticket area there that'll get you over to Ticketswift. Very user-friendly. Our tickets this year will be digital, so it'll just be scanning a QR code or a barcode on your phone, and that's it. And we do have family 4-packs, too, for all your family listeners out there.
What is your cell phone number and also home address?
My home address.
No. I wanted to. Nice. Guys, you've been great. I'll see you real soon. Again, unbelievably excited. Is it cool if I come out to a practice one night?
Absolutely. We practice. Macain's got to start getting ready for practice right now. We practice at 8 on Mondays and 8 on Fridays.
Yep. Awesome, gentlemen. Well, I thank you again. Wish you the best of luck, and we'll catch up real soon. Have a great holidays, too, if we don't talk beforehand.
Once again, for having us. And I just want to say, Thursday this week, we have a state championship game. Go Hoban Knights. Shout out to Tylen Boykin, starting cornerback.
Hit the brakes on this interview.
Hey, Vince, real quick. Also,
we're going 2 minutes over.
Sorry, Friday night is our intra-squad scrimmage, too. If anybody wants to come out, that is free. I completely forgot to plug that, and I apologize.
All good. Back to Macain. So, did you go to Hoban?
No, I didn't. I have a little cousin who's the cornerback for Hoban at the moment.
Love it. Are you coming out Thursday night?
I'll be there Thursday night.
All right, man. I sent you a Facebook friends request. Make sure you accept that. We'll exchange some phone numbers. I'll try to come down from the press box if I can and say hello and meet you in person.
Perfect. Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Hey, Toledo Central Catholic's no joke. So
sure we'll be ready for him.
That I know you will. I love Hoban. I've been covering this interview's gone right off the rails. I apologize to the fans, but I've been covering high school football for 8 years. Nothing gets me more like amped than that. And Hoban, since I've been covering it, has been the dynasty. That's kind of right where they began that dynasty. And at one point, Division 4, Division 3, now Division 2, and just rolling through. So, dude, you're a blood relative of a Hoban Knight. I knew there was a reason why I liked you. Awesome. You guys, thanks again. We will talk high school football on another night. But hey, ClevelandCrush.com, everything Ryan said, check them out. Tickets are cheap, way cheaper than a Browns game, and you're probably going to get a better happy ending. And that's no inside joke on Deshaun Watson either. You guys have a good night.
You too.
All
Take
right,
care.
Vince, thank you very much.
Take care.